What's up guys, Bajheera here, bringing you some more 3v3 arena commentary. Today we're playing as Warrior Mage Priest against RLS. As if RLS wasn't a strong enough comp already, we're playing against rank 1 gladiators. Playing against a rank 1 gladiator rogue and Econ, who's an excellent shaman. These guys are like 2700 rated, so we got our work cut out for us. We're going to try to get the win today by going on the Warlock as, you know, the main target to hit, and then hard switching to the Shaman when we've got a good chance of doing plenty of damage to him. What we're going to have to do is make the Shaman blow cooldowns, so that later on in the game he has to decide whether to keep himself up or keep his partners up. So, although we're going to have a hard time outlasting this comp, if we play smart and play crisply and make good use of our cooldowns, we might be able to score a kill. So we see the Shaman out in the open, so he's going to eat a deep freeze, he's going to trinket the deep freeze, and I'm going to get this Shaman right in LOS of my mage so that my mage can pour in some shatters on him. He's just running around the pillar right now. Once he lines my mage again, I'm going to throw him down in LOS with my mage so we can get some more shatters to pour into him, hopefully. I get blinded, and the Shaman has to drop his Spirit Link Totem. So those are already two fairly large cooldowns that the other team has had to use in order to survive our burst. At this point, I'm feeling pretty good, but I look over in the party frames, and Zaylolz is dropping like a rock. So he has to ice block at 4k health and get healed up by Poisty. Unfortunately, he got gripped over and blocked a little bit late, so Poisty already had to pain sup him in order to, you know, try to keep him alive. Luckily, the pain sup kept him alive just long enough to block, and now we're back on our feet, but we're both out of ice block and pain suppression. So, Spirit Link is out of the game, Blind is out of the game until he preps, but so is ice block and pain suppression. So, Zaylolz is still low. We're pouring damage into the Shaman because he's out in the open again. At this point, I'm thinking that I'm going to have to peel really hard because Zaylolz is getting his soul drained, and the rogue is coming over to him again. This is looking bad for us right now. We're spread a little bit thin, and we're not putting out a lot of damage because we have to peel so hard. I'm going to sit on this Warlock to try to keep damage on him, make sure that the Shaman has to heal instead of hexing and scoring a kill. Poisty gets an excellent fear and fears the rogue all the way off to the other side of the map. Although that does kill the rogue, that means he's going to get a re-stealth and smoke bomb. However, that smoke bomb is being used defensively. They are not bursting me here. I do not have any dots on me from the Warlock, so I'm not in a good position to get hit. All they were doing is peeling for his Warlock. So, that's another smoke bomb that we don't have to worry about at this point. That's 2 smoke bombs down. So, the Shaman's going to get a hex here, but I'm still pouring damage into the Warlock. I'm going to charge the Shaman because he's out in the open again, hopefully trying to get some damage on him this time. So I get all my debuffs up on him. Zaylolz is still getting hit pretty hard, so I'm going to have to run over here and disarm the rogue. Zaylolz, I'm a little bit late, so Zaylolz already has to use his ice block. So that's 2 ice blocks, 2 smoke bombs, and the Shaman probably has cooldowns up again. But we're going to keep trying to go on him. He gets deep frozen out in the open. He decides not to use his trinket here, but we're going to go for the kill right now. I try to fear. The fear doesn't go off, so I'm going to quit wasting time trying to use the global cooldown to fear. I'm going to trinket whatever that was, and we're going to score a very quick kill on the Shaman. So all 3 people had trinkets up, but we switched hard enough and fast enough that we were able to get a kill on the Shaman before they knew it hit him. That was a very intense match, and we were able to come out with a victory against a very, very strong RLS comp with very good players by making opportune switches to the Shaman. In these next 2 matches, we're going to be playing against FMP, just Frost Mage, Feral, and Priest. This is a very scary comp, just in the amount of control that it has, and the consistent pressure that a Feral Druid can put out, while the Mage controls all the targets in a Nova. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start out balls to the wall. I'm going to charge in, pop Recklessness, and Blade Storm this Mage and all his teammates around his Ring of Frost. I want to put this Mage on the defense immediately. I do not want him to start casting Polymorphs or Frost Bolts. Since the Mage is in a bad position, his Priest has to grip him away, which also interrupts his Frost Bolt. So we've put out so much pressure in the beginning that they have hardly put out any at all. I get Cycloned here. Poisty is already spamming Master Spells, anticipating that Ice Block. But since the Mage has a pain suppression, he can hold on to his Ice Block just a little bit longer. But he does Ice Block, we get it off. Right here this is a potentially bad situation. I do tell Zaylolz not to counterspell the Frostbolt, so I can reflect it. But since the Feral was on me, this is a chance for them to start getting back on their feet, and I cannot allow that. What I have to do is continue to stick on this Mage despite the Feral's peels. The Feral is just training me like a boss, but I'm going to charge away, leap away, throw down the Mage, and get a ton of pressure out in this throwdown. The Mage is just trying to kite away, but he continues to get low with our constant pressure. We have such an upper hand just from our really, really aggressive start. Poisty is spamming Master Spells here, gets the Priest in a fear. I'm going to fear the Priest so that Zaylolz can get him in a full Polymorph without worrying about the Priest Shadow Word deathing it. The mage is so low right here. The priest pops trinkets to try to get his guy up. The mage is gonna ice block right here, but I've got a shatter, and Poisty's got a massive spell ready. I throw my shatter at him anyway, and go ahead and get the kill with the execute. That was a very good game against a very scary team in FMP. We're gonna play them one more time, and we're gonna see if this aggression tactic proves to be successful once again. Like I said, FMP can be a very scary team to face, but what they rely on is their CC. If you understand that, then you can go really hard on this mage and disrupt their CC and their damage so that your team can gain the upper hand. Especially playing Warrior Mage Priest, you need your mage to be the more aggressive mage. You need to be able to stop their mage's damage and the CC early on so that you guys can get the upper hand. In the beginning of this match, they decide to open up on me and get some bleeds up. What they're going to do after this is they're going to go hard on my mage. The Pharaoh gets feared, but out of that fear, the mage starts to open up. I was hoping those frostbolts were coming for me, so I pop my shield out and cast Spell Reflect, but alas, they were not for me, they were for Zaylolz. So, I'm going to get cleansed out of this deep freeze, I'm going to get a Colossus smash up, get a rend up, and then I'm going to pop Recklessness and Blade Storm. And yes, I know Blade Storming a single target is not the best strategy, but I do not want to get Nova'd. So, that's why Blade Storm. Makes the mage have to run and not cast anything as well. So, out of this blink, I'm going to Heroic Leap and charge around, throw him down, and try to get some more damage on him. Trying my absolute best to stay aggressive. We've got a little bit more damage on their mage than they have on our mage at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and throw a fear off, try to fear the Pharaoh, which he trinkets, and I'm also going to try to fear the mage so that he cannot put out damage or run away from me. I'm going to get Cycloned here, and this is where things can get scary. I'm going to Cyclone, the mage is polymorphing inside his Ring of Frost, so I have to charge the mage in order to stop his polymorph. But now we're not putting out any damage, so his priest can do really, really lame things like mana burn my mage, which sucks. So now I'm sort of in chasing mode. In the beginning I was chasing the mage, but I was the aggressor. Now I'm chasing him trying to just catch him. But now I finally got a chance to stay on him, so I'm going to pop my trinkets and start hitting this mage really hard. Unfortunately, I'm not able to set up my burst with my mages, just because he's trying to avoid the feral damage so much. Normally you're going to want to set up your burst and line it up with your mage, but since I'm having to peel with damage because I can't do much else at this point, I'm just trying to burst this mage to keep him defensive. However, I get bashed, and the mage is starting to cast polymorphs again. I get polyed. This is not good. I did my best to try to avoid this situation, but I'm having to eat a polymorph now. Now it's up to my mage and my priest to work together to keep Zaylolz alive until I get out of CC. I finally get out of the polymorph, I heroically leap over to the mage and throw him down. I cannot let Ice Lances go off on Zaylolz at this point. Not in the slightest. Although out of the throwdown, I do get Cyclone, so I cannot continue my own damage on the mage. In a very heads-up play, Zaylolz counterspells the Mind Control, which lets me charge over to the mage, Blade Storm his Nova, cancel my Blade Storm, pummel his Polymorph, while we get their priest in a Polymorph of our own. Notice how even when we're playing defensively, we are very aggressive on doing damage to the target that we need to do damage to. The Pharaoh's going to re-stealth and reopen on Zaylolz here, so Zaylolz going to drop a defensive ring. While the mage is skirting the outside of the ring, I'm going to charge him, pop my PvP trinket, and do some damage to him, which is just enough to catch their team by surprise and throw off a quick Ice Lance to score a kill on the mage before the priest even knew what happened. Noted, the priest was a little bit LOS of his mage, but we set up that burst so beautifully that the priest probably didn't even know what was happening, let alone the mage. I know it is Casterclism, and casters can burst like crazy, so that's probably one of the reasons why we got that kill. But we were playing very defensively, but despite our defensive playstyle, we were very aggressive at controlling and damaging the mage, despite the way we peeled so well for our mage. That's one of the things you have to keep in mind. Even when you're peeling, you need to be doing damage. You cannot just sacrifice everything you're doing and peel, or else you will just get behind. Because, you know, defensive playstyle is good, but it's not good if that's all you do. Speaking of peeling, now we're playing a freaking Jungle Cleave. Just the captain of killing mages right here. Jungle Cleaves just go nuts and burst mages really hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to charge in and get on this hunter as soon as humanly possible. I see that the feral opens on me, and the pet's on me too, so I'm going to go ahead and pop retail. Why not get some extra damage out? Zaylolz going to drop a ring for me, so I can kite the feral druid through while continuing to burst the hunter. We've already got a deterrence out of the hunter, and already got a pain suppression out of the priest. So the hunter is beast mastery, so he only has one deter. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to charge over, focus charge, and focus sphere the priest's inner will, so that he cannot get any heals on this hunter, even though he's got deterrence and pain suppression up. The Hunter leaps over and goes LOS of his Priest, which is a huge mistake, and ends up dying because of it. I feel that this game in particular is an excellent example of what I've been talking about since the last match, of playing defensively, but while being offensive. If that makes any sense at all. We were playing defensively, we were line of sighting, we were dropping rings so that we could kite people through them, but during that entire process, we seized the opportunities that we had, and were able to score a kill because of it. We never stopped doing damage, although we were kiting a little bit. We, CC'd really smoothly. That focus charge, focus sphere fit right into our game plan. It fit right into what we were doing. It was an easy thing to do. The Priest used his pain suppression, the Hunter used his deterrence. I had a charge up, focus charge, focus sphere, his inner will, and luckily for us, that Hunter decided to go LOS. But even if he didn't, then we probably would have scored the kill eventually anyway. And I think that you will see that situation in this game. It's the same team, different map. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up on the Priest with a charge, so I can get a little bit of rage enough to thunderclap the Hunter out of stealth, or camouflage or whatever. So, they've got a better chance to go on my mage this time. The Hunter has more room to kite, and he's not just fighting behind a pillar like last time. So they're going to go hard on my mage here. Do tons of damage, because that's what Jungle Cleave can do against mages. I get cleansed out of whatever that is. I'm going to throw the Hunter down right now, although he's going to get life gripped away as soon as I pop Recklessness. So I'm going to charge over, he runs away, and I'm going to Heroic Leap. This is an excellent time to Bladestorm. He's got no other way to stop damage other than maybe getting a pain suppression or deterring. Although he has pain suppression, and sometimes it is a good idea to switch to the Priest after pain suppression goes down, this is Jungle Cleave, and I am not leaving this Hunter for a second. We could switch to the Priest, but if you let the Hunter start controlling and getting damage out on my mage, it's going to be a very bad day. So the Hunter disengages away from me, so I'm going to focus charge, focus fear his Priest without a trinket. So the Priest is going to be feared for the entire duration of the Hunter's deterrence. If we can get a polymorph on that Priest, which we do, we're going to be able to get a kill. Even though I'm cycloned, we've got plenty of damage from the mage and from Poisty's OP Shadow Word deaths to finish off that Hunter. Although we were a little bit out-comped in terms of the way Jungle Cleave counters mages, we were able to play really smart and even play more aggressively than this Jungle Cleave. Because if we play our game well and make sure that we can get them to blow cooldowns before we blow our cooldowns, we're going to be in a much better position. You saw that the Hunter had to use pain suppression and disengage before we had even used any CC cooldowns. So I was able to focus charge, focus fear the Priest with no trinket, which meant that that entire disengage from the Hunter went with 0 healing from the Priest. So it was only a matter of getting a few more Ice Lances, a couple Shadow Word deaths to finish off that Hunter, even though I was in a Cyclone. So those were some excellent games. I really hope you enjoyed them. Like I said last time, guys, I'm really enjoying making these arena commentaries, and I hope that they're helpful, or if nothing else, at least entertaining. So look out for plenty of more of these in the future. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Peace!